Well, this is a bit of an experiment because the PC and phone are acting up when they're rare. So hopefully you guys will be able to hear this. If not, I will just, re-record. So there was a lot going on in DOA's latest missive, and I swear to God, I had not been listening for a while. So I was like, okay, let me just do a big catch-up. And boy, it is a lot. So DOA is claiming a lot. He claims that he has kind of like this false arrest because the police manufactured. Apparently, they just manufactured an arrest or search or felony or something that did not even happen. Okay, that's pretty wild. I mean, that's possible. Lara has been fired, apparently, due to some Scientology dead agent package, and Nora will be getting sued unless she retracts her recent comments. Okay, so this is a lot. Let me just back up for the new people. Nora is a very problematic, quote, queer activist. She joined Scientology as an adult, hoping to rise the ranks in the celebrity center where the Hollywood celebrities, come together. But she claims a very traumatic time period in Scientology. I think she's telling the truth there at the basic level, but DOA is correct that she does have a tendency to lie. A lot. And DOA is another troublesome activist, but he's a little bit more all over the map. He champions Palestine, anarchism, BLM, and more lately, anti-Scientology. Okay, so that's them. So what's the big lie? Well, DOA says that which did happen, while Nora was in LA, DOA stopped by her court case. She has a restraining order issue with Zero Dark Tony, a YouTuber. They have a very long history. I've covered that in other videos. It's a big one, but I'll probably get into it in another video. So anyway, so she and Zero Dark Tony are going back and forth. She has a court date. She goes there, and basically it's a continuance. So nothing much happens. But DOA claims she was getting support by him. She says that he showed up in court in pajamas, was being very disrespectful, and gave her a dirty look. So he was not there to support her. Okay, interesting. And she has lied about him a ton of times. That is true. But I'm not clear what he's saying in terms of threatening a restraining order. I mean, I understand where he's going, but to be fair to him, there was this time Nora did this very angry rant when she was doing an interview with Laura FM, and Scott was in the chat, and Nora just went crazy. She went crazy saying, "Get out of here! I'll make sure you never talk about Scientology. I will destroy you," and so on and so forth. And you might think, well, you're just cherry-picking Nora at her worst. No, she had this whole big interview. She literally sliced a small part of it and put it up as a video and monetized it and then took it down. So apparently she was proud of herself. And I have put the screenshots of that thing and some of the older videos. So it did happen. Does it rise to the level of restraining order? I guess that's for the lawyers to figure out. But DOA has enough legal knowledge because he's been in court a ton of times. He's had a lot of restraining order issues, and he's defeated them. That's what makes Nora's behavior very suspicious. It's like, well, DOA was able to defeat these restraining orders. He didn't ask, even for those things, he didn't ask for tens of thousands of dollars. So it seems puzzling what Nora is asking for and what she's saying. But again, it could just be Nora is really stupid. That is a big possibility with Nora all the time. She's just really, really dumb and doesn't know how things work. So Nora is asking for now $5,000, $8,000 for a lawyer as well as traveling expenses, which she clearly doesn't need because Zero Dark Tony was able to do the case through a Zoom call. So it's not a necessity for her to go down. I think it's also more intriguing that Scott also doesn't like Audit LA, an activist who's hooked up with Nora. And again, this is like Audit LA's issue. It's not my issue, but she's definitely putting her own credibility at stake because Audit LA did show up for the court case. Nora showed her on camera. So if Nora did lie about Scott and what happened, or yeah, she's covering up for Nora again. And that's fine. These YouTubers will have conflict with one another. But good or bad, if DOA does go through with this, he's going to have to gather, right, presumably enough information to give to the court. So he's going to have to show and prove demonstrably, yes, she lied. yeah, she threatened me. She did so this date, this date, this date, this video, this video, this video. And again, you can say many things about DOA, but I have not a doubt he's hoarded a ton of Nora's videos that she took down. Now, I've tried to do the best of creating an archive. I'm going to have to be perfectly honest here. I may need some support there because it's just, I'm reaching the limits of my physical, mental health, and finances. Again, I am working, but and I'm pretty shocked. I'm like, I expected to make a little bit more than this, but I may have to ask you guys for help, but that's in the future. I think Nora's problem stems from just habitually exaggerating her woes and what she needs for help and where she is. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal if Scott showed up to support her or not. But if he did go to the court to support her, like, why would she lie about this? It just seems like such a small thing to lie about. But again, Nora has been caught red-handed just lying about very simple, obvious things that could not be true. Like, it's just not true. So I'll just give one case. So a while ago, Lindsay, one of Aaron's ex-girlfriends, came out to expose his abuse. So Nora, being the crazy wombat that she is, decided to state for the record she thought Lindsay, with no evidence, like zero evidence, she was part of some OSA operation. OSA is basically a spy agency within Scientology. To this day, there is no evidence that Lindsay was working with OSA. And this is how things work with the SPTV people or their adjacent communities, right? Because Nora claims, I am not SPTV. That is a rawness. I'm caught independent with my grifting. So now Lindsay and Nora are friends. So again, guys, it just don't add up. So if you honestly thought she was an OSA agent and this was an OSA operation, why would you be palling around with OSA people? Right? And it's like, oh, no, she's not OSA. But then if she's not OSA, you just lied. You clearly lied, right? There was no reason to think this. In fact, we have double, triple reason to think Lindsay was telling the truth and not an OSA agent because Nora, when Aaron kicked her out of the SPTV clubhouse, started spilling all this information saying, oh, yeah, I often lied, protected Aaron against these accusations, which I knew were true. He's a pathological liar. He's been very abusive. He abused me behind the scenes. So it's like, right, it seems that Aaron has a pattern of abusing women. Lindsay's just another case. Again, I'm not necessarily defending Lindsay. She's a very extreme MAGA Trump person, and she said a lot of crazy things, apparently very racist things, and she's gotten herself into a lot of legal trouble. But the point would be, she clearly is just another confirming case of a long list of women that Aaron abused. That's what a rational person would conclude. This is just another woman coming forward with a tale of abuse concerning Aaron. Maybe she's telling the truth, maybe she's not. Let's just go through it carefully. Why would OSA be a part of this? But no, Nora just went with the complete lie, saying, oh, this is OSA, guys. I suspect the OSAs. I suspect OSAs. Okay, well, you can suspect OSAs all you like. Can you give us something why you suspect OSAs? And it's like, oh, no, I'm just making this up to protect Aaron. Okay, so we have many cases where she will just tell a complete lie based on nothing for her ideology. So would she lie for her own self-interest? Yeah. She lied for Aaron, so clearly she would lie for herself. So again, I'm not saying DOA is telling the truth. I'm going to need more information, but yeah. So now Nora could be facing two major legal battles. And there we are. There we are.